Hi everyone, here is Francesco Merens from the Crypto Valley in Switzerland. Today we want to announce that we will take part at EthCC, the conference in Paris, the Ethereum Community Conference in Paris. And today we will tell you the project that we are most excited about.
Okay, Francesco, next week we're going to attend EthCC in Paris. Maybe for the audience who don't know, like what is EthCC and why are we attending this conference?
So EthCC is one of the biggest Ethereum conference in the world actually, and it's taking place every year in Paris. And all the biggest protocols are joining this from everywhere, from every part of the world. We have big names like Uniswap or Aave. They're all MakerDAO. They're all taking part into these also big venture capital like Pantera. So it's really an interesting crowd of people everyone joining and taking part in this. The interesting part is that we have like people from the finance world, but as well many developers. So that's making it quite special because sometimes these two things are not always together. So it's quite exciting to have a big crowd of people with very different backgrounds and meeting all of them in Paris.
Okay, so it's like the World Economic Forum for the Web3 community. And everyone is going there basically.
Exactly.
And so also I heard that you brought some projects which you thought are interesting. So which projects are you most excited about to learn there a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm actually very interested, and maybe I can share my screen, and I want to share that. So one project, since we are going there to see what's going on in the world of real world assets, there is one project I was particularly interested, who I know for quite some time, which is Centrifuge. Actually, they are on-chain structured credit protocols. They allowed borrowing and lending to SMEs or companies. And it's quite interesting because they were one of the first to actually bring borrowing and lending with tokenized loans. And nowadays, we can see they have an amount. So basically, there is a big chunk of borrowing that they have provided for enterprises, around 420 millions. And the interesting part is that they have big partnership with MakerDAO and Aave, and that's they've been really good in enabling this. So what I found was interesting about them, as you can see here, they provide structured credit or loans to these to some companies. And the people, what's interesting, they can just simply provide retail investors. Anyone can actually simply lend to this corporation who've been audited by Centrifuge, and you can receive some interest while they start paying back the loan. And the interesting part is here you can simply lend them and redeem at whatever point you want in time. They have quite some attractive APR, which of course they are not the one that we are usually used to see in the Web3, but definitely these are much more stable and normal. But you can it's a safe environment where to park some capital.
Okay.
What about you, Merens? Do you have some interesting project that you have scouted?
So one project which I'm very interested about is the LUSD token. And so what it is, founder of Liquidity is giving a speech about stablecoins trilemma. So the goal is to have a stablecoin which is fully scalable, decentralized, and stable at the same time. And as of the moment, this is not the case. So, but let's start first. What is a stablecoin? So the stablecoin is like the US dollar, but as a token. And this is super important for us, for instance, for our project, as we do like investing in startups, because people want to invest in US dollar and not in ETH. So therefore, we need such a kind of a stable coin. And today there is one big player out there, which is called USDC, and they issue US dollar stablecoin. So one USDC should be one US dollar. But the problem with this project is they have a lot of control over these USDC, and they can blacklist addresses and so on. So it's not really decentralized. And also, like, the assets are not on-chain. So we saw the problem with a video which we did. The problem with
we saw the problem when there was the SVB bank, because a lot of money were deposited at this bank, and when this bank blew up, basically a lot of money were frozen.
Exactly. Now we have this new, it's not that new actually, but we have this LUSD, and they're based here in Switzerland. And how does it work? So you as an investor, you can put ETH in it, in a smart contract, and then you receive the LUSD. And this LUSD acts as a stablecoin. I mean, you can do other things like some yield farming and so on with it, but it's basically an LUSD. And you can buy real world assets with it. And it's interesting because this project is like super decentralized. And they have, for instance, a governance token, but the governance token, as you can see here, doesn't have any voting rights, because they don't want that big whales then can kind of decide over the state of this project. So that's super interesting. And what's even more interesting, this guy don't even operate the front end. So like you cannot buy the LUSD from their website. It's just like a web page where they inform about it, but you need to buy it from others. So they're really like in this field, and that's super interesting. And then maybe the other project, which I'm also very curious, is of the Worldcoin. So this is the project.
Okay, yeah. It's quite recent, right? This one, very recent.
Exactly. So Sam Altman, the co-founder of ChatGPT, he also like invested in this project, Worldcoin. And it's interesting because it's some kind of a new identity system. So let me explain. Mm-hmm. The goal is that you can prove that you are human. And this is very difficult, as we can see now with Twitter, for instance. And now what these guys created, so they screen your iris, and then you get a world ID. And this means you can establish the identity of that person. And so you can prove that you are who you say you are, and you don't need a password, for instance. And also you can prove that you're human. And I mean, you can see there are some privacy concerns. That's why I'm very curious about actually these projects. But also I think it could be really good for real world assets, because like for our project, one of our problems is that we need to identify like the persons. And this is like very cumbersome. So if you had like some kind of a token in there, this would be amazing actually, yes.
Yeah, it will simplify a lot our life, honestly, in this verification process. Well, I think it's going to be quite interesting to attend this event, especially because exactly, for sure, we're going to find out about many other projects. Well, all the DeFi ecosystem, I'm really bullish around these, and also will be happy to find out what are the next phases.
Yeah, exactly. So to learn about the future, and we're super excited to attend there.
Yeah.
So instead of like asking like usual, if you like the video, subscribe and hit the like button. Maybe just ping us if you're in Paris, and then we can meet like in person.